Oh, good afternoon. Welcome to Casual Boost Tournament, Link to the Past Randomizer. We have two absolute titans of this game, Gem versus Doomtap. Somehow, magically, great for us being able to face off in pretty much the first round, at least is Gem's first round in this Casual Boost Tournament. It is a best of three series. Games 1 and 2 right now are today, double header, back to back. We are very much looking forward to this. I am Claire Mouse. Joined with me is the one pilot of Gem for League and Pilot Spoiler, among many other things associated with Gem, is Korek. How's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I am very much looking forward to this. I'm not necessarily sure if Doomtap nor Gem we're looking forward to this tournament match. I think for what it's worth, like they both like competition, a lot. Always want to be facing the best. Maybe not in an elimination, perspective type of situation, especially so early in the tournament. But I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, two absolute titans of rando, especially a casual boots, like a quote-unquote normal type of mode, like the straightforward classic rando. Gem and Doomtap are both exceptionally good, and we should be in for a treat. They're both, top execution players. I don't even know what Doomtap's at now for his NMG, but I know it's just elite.
Yes,
Gem is elite himself, but it's just a great matchup we should have here today.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and so Doomtap is I don't actually know the exact number of people who have a 123. It is probably around I think it's still under 10, but he is one of them. He is as you said, one of the absolute elites in terms of execution. 123 is I think it's kind of almost like the Olympics, right? It's like, yes, in theory, and it's possible for anybody. No, it's actually very, very difficult to to be able to achieve that type of accomplishment. Gem, while he does not have, I would say, a 123, he also probably doesn't run really much of, I guess, the vanilla game as much. Mainly but he did run the vanilla preset randomizer, because that was part of the tournament, I think maybe a month or two back ago. Certainly very, very competitive, basically right alongside Doomtap and Ares time. So a very pretty much, I would say, on point match in terms of execution. It's just that we don't he doesn't necessarily have the the exact, let's say, 123 NMG record, I guess, as a direct comparison type of thing.
Yeah, and Gem himself is pretty talented in coming up with nice rando specific strats. So, we got a nice
almost
chocolate
vanilla
boomerang.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it.
I love chocolate. It's you can never have too much of it. I very much approve. Maybe it's a little bit different in terms of the actual movement, but in terms of some of these boomerang related strats, especially coming up here in the ball and chain guard, I would expect it to be relatively similar. So. But yeah, as you said though, so and this is actually a really good comparison. So Doomtap certainly has been probably more alongside, he's very well known for the vanilla game, right? Speedrunning, put a lot of time, into really grinding out basically his 120 accomplishments, among many other things in the game, right? Gem, I believe, actually, correct me if I'm wrong, he started with Randomizer, hasn't, and I guess has been very much focused, in all sorts of different types of modes, probably in particular though casual boots. And so it's very interesting to kind of see Gem with his execution and a lot of rando knowledge, but and then counter to Doomtap's much more knowledge based on I would say the vanilla game, maybe certainly compared to Gem a bit more newer to the randomizer.
It's a really good point in that Gem did start with the randomizer, later got into NMG. Doomtap definitely started with vanilla game, NMG, and other speedruns, and then much later got into the randomizer. So it is an interesting comparison, and they kind of ended up in roughly the same place here, right? They're very similarly skilled in the randomizer, especially this particular mode. So multiple ways you can get there, but I guess getting a lot of reps and playing the game a lot is, whether it's randomizer or NMG, is going to make you better. And
for sure.
Both of these guys have played a ton of ALTTP.
Yeah, and as you said, so they're also currently still very, very much active in the game. So Doomtap, has basically kind of picked up the game. I would say maybe more on the uptick recently, but he's also in the HMG tournament that's also going on right now. And So like while most of the glitches that he has probably been more familiar with is not currently allowed in this tournament. But again, it's just being active, right? As you said, just being active, playing more really helps you basically stay fresh and stave off the rust basically for this game. One thing I guess hopefully we may get to see, we'll have to wait for a Dark World map check potentially, but we will see in this case if Swamp is going to be Crystal or Pendant, and we might actually be able to see Becky Clip. Ooh, Doomtap. I'm actually not sure the last time you think it's NMG muscle memory to go up and then back over down to the chest?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I mean, you have to go back down, so like it probably doesn't. It's probably not much different, to be honest with you. Like I think it's probably a little bit slower, but I don't know.
Yeah, it
didn't look to be much different, really.
Yeah, all right. Well, we have Fox in chat. Also extremely talented. And whatever. Link to the Past, runner, randomizer. So certainly would very much trust his judgment.
It's one of the things where you don't necessarily think about it, but I guess there's a lot of things in this game like that. Like there are strats that have been done for years and years, and someone's like, "Hey, what if I do this?" And it's like, "Oh, that's actually half a second faster." And it's like, how did that happen? Like, how did nobody do it before? But it's just,
It's actually really amazing to me. Yeah, and actually this is one of the, I don't know if it's just necessarily like a feature or something, but it just kind of hasn't been every once in a while. People will be discovering, it's like for example like this Becky clip, that was probably the most recently discovered like hot new tag that you can just basically do essentially like more like a hook push, or not hook push, basically clipping through. Yeah. All right, well, okay, so Gem's also showing us that there are in fact bees inside that tree. Do not bonk it, we only need to pull it. But it's just like people have been doing things for I guess like the same way for such a long time, and every once in a while you're just like, I guess you said right, like how did nobody ever try to do this before that actually saves like half a second, or 20 frames here, or 22 seconds in terms of like Specky Clip. It's just amazing for especially how old this game is.
Interestingly, I think we saw a crab drop a 4 bomb and on Doomtap's side, and Gem did not check the crabs. So he has a little bit of advantage. Gem might use the bonk rock going into Kakariko and end up like losing, a decent amount of time versus just using the crabs. So
yeah, and also did you see that that very efficient item skip that Doomtap had? Didn't even waste like 3 seconds to pick up that item, that he actually does not use.
That's impossible.
Yeah, there is who has the emote? I think Tam maybe is a Tam skip. Oh my gosh, look at Gem. You know what? But as you said, right? Like Doomtap farmed the crab, the rupee crab, or the bush crab, whatever, bomb crab in this case. Got himself a couple extra ones. Gem decided to farm the enemy, the guards. I mean, again, ended up getting pretty fortunate that it wasn't the bomb prize pack. But it's also just kind of like good knowledge.
It was the bomb prize pack from Escape. They both got the one bomb from the green guard. So,
so
that
probably
makes sense.
Gem knew. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, we also got just more bombs in Blind's hideout. Oh. Yeah, I think also, I don't know, maybe like just historically, Gem, so long as he has enough resources, like whether it's like money, or maybe he has maybe like 1 bomb, or maybe 2, right? That would, he would consider that basically be enough to not check the rest of the resource prizes, whether that's tree pulls, whether that's bush crabs, because, chances are you're coming to Kakariko, you just need kind of like the bare minimum to just to like get you by, right? And the kind of like worst case, maybe you go buy bombs at the very end. If you end up getting like nothing, right, out of whatever these umpteen checks that we have here.
Yeah, and I guess one thing about casual boots, or just casual in general, meaning the starting sword, like bombs are less important. Obviously, you need a couple to open entrances, but you don't need them to kill enemies. So, like, as opposed to say open or anything where you don't start with a weapon, bombs serve a dual purpose. Whereas here, as long as you can open, mini Mulrim Cave, Ice Rod Cave, etc., you're good.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely for sure. By the way, we are also seeing maybe a bit more. I would say like rando experience, like on Gem's side, right? Kakariko at this point has been pretty optimized just in terms of movement. One thing that we do see that Gem definitely takes a more advantage of, like the spin speeds. Really basically catching up with some time. Just being able to do spin speed into Chicken Hut. Versus kind of like Doomtab's. We're just kind of like dashing. Throughout the stop and dash type of situation.
There's where spin speed and just dashing in a couple straight lines are somewhat close in Kakariko.
That's definitely true. Yeah, we're actually talking about just like frames worth of differences. I mean,
Yeah.
but again, this is one of the things that I think Gem just really shines on. His execution is always very solid, but as you said, like he just really likes to be incorporating these little minor things here and there. But they actually do, you end up finding 5 or 10 of these situations. They really do add up.
I mean, basically the difference is the amount of time that Gem took to farm that guard, and otherwise they're pretty much in sync. Looks like Doom's going straight for Eastern. I don't even know if he's done a map check. I don't think so.
I believe.
Or no, I think he did.
No, he did. Yeah, Sammy, by the way, one of our best trackers, doing all the button clicking for us. Look at her. Awesome. I didn't even mention her before, but she is amazing. She's kept track of basically everything we've had so far, including all the prizes. Everything that we picked up so far. Gem saving time, by the way, doing the doing the chest turn.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you're probably going to be doing both of these things before you go to the Dark World, so it doesn't really matter one way or the other. Like, maybe if you go South Shore first, you get Dark World access and a mirror, and you can combo this with Pod or something. Or maybe if you go to Eastern first, you get something that you get a mirror here and Dark World access, and then hey, maybe you can combo Swamp or something with it. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But like, just in general, most of the time you're going to be doing both of these anyway. So we see a little divergence here, but in the end, they're probably just going to end up in the same spot in about 7-8 minutes.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And and again, this is the randomizer, right? You don't know where the items are, and you just listed off actually a good number of possibilities, right? That they're work out both in Gem and Doomtap's favor. We just have to like wait and find out. But both choices are very, I would say, reasonable. You know what? We found both gloves, so you know what? They're both right. Congratulations.
Yep. So that kind of plays into the fact that they're both probably going to do both things. Looks like it might be Myth's Dark World access, which. Not always the favorite of a lot of people, but that seems to be the way we're heading here, unless we get the hammer too.
Yeah. I mean, well, as you said too, like there are going to be, a good number of checks. So we don't actually have logical mountain access yet, but we still do have a number of checks still waiting for us to be discovered, right? Ice Rod Cave, Rest of Eastern. I mean, I guess we have the, the age-old, when do you go visit Agahnim question type of thing, but... I guess in terms of gems, I would say if he has a normal opening, that opening extends out into the 10 to 15 minute mark. This seems pretty typical. He's a big fan of South Shore, going immediately to South Shore after Kakariko, even if he has maybe even like let's say like Dark World access, for example. But of course, always situational dependent, right? So.
We are starting to run out of in-logic checks, so we have this big chest, we have Agahnim, and we have Zora, and...
yeah, we don't have flippers. The stuff that Gem is currently doing exactly right now is not in logic until we... But you know what? He'll never turn down a Master Sword. We are so close to a Tempered Sword, which is probably... Well, I don't know. I guess I've never asked if Gem has a favorite item in this game, in casual boost, but Tempered Sword, I think, is probably up there.
I mean, Tempered Sword is a good item for everybody. I don't think anybody complains about that.
That's true. Yeah, especially for you put Boots and Tempered in Gem or Doomtap's hand. Like again, like part of the 123 speedrun on Wild. So well, that is combined for Dark World access with Zora, which as you mentioned, yeah.
I think Zora had to have progression there, or Agahnim, I suppose, right? But it was, we were definitely running out. So Gem, on his way, he'll get his glove. Doomtap, finishing off Eastern, will, they'll both get their Dark World access before they, finish, quote unquote, what's going on. Oh, I guess Gem's gonna do Eastern first. This makes sense. It's a little bit faster.
Oh yeah. So one very minor variation, right, is that Doomtap. I mean, in this case, they're both still looking for stuff, right? But yes, Doomtap did not have the glove from South Shore or water, and Mini Moldrum Cave. Yeah.
Yeah, or from Saha, right?
Right. Oh yes, that's true. Yeah. So he had to kind of take the quote unquote long way, but but I think what my understanding is that if you need to clear out Eastern and Saha and you have a glove, it's actually just faster to go to Eastern first and then go backtrack over to Saha versus like the other way around.
Yeah, that's correct. The travel in the Eastern area is kind of circuitous if you're coming from the left to the right, and it's much more straightforward going right to left. So you definitely save a bit of screen time.
I really like the vocabulary, circuitous. Like that's a really great word.
Oh, I got a good night's sleep last night, so
perfect. Oh, I'm so glad. Good night's sleep means good commentary vocabulary. I very much approved. I'll have to take some notes for this. Speaking of, okay, so Doomtap. Oh wow, dude, where is the lamp?
Yeah, I mean, either lamp or fire rod could be blocking.
Oh, true.
That.
We do need the fire rod. Yes, the fire. Yeah, because Vicky was early. Yeah, we definitely saw that.
But yeah, I mean that's interesting. It's always nice to find a probably required item and a thing you're going to do anyway. So we shall see. It's always possible that we have double pendant for Meyer and TR, but somewhat unlikely.
Yeah. I mean, well, right. So, right, we do have, we did get a quick map check, at least on both Gem and Doomtap side, and Sammy, of course, being the wonderful pusher she is, has marked them for us. We do see 2 crystals, so it's not, like, outside the realm of possibility, right, for, for Meyer and Turtle Rock to be pendants. However, though, like, it's not, yeah, as you said, it's probably not as common. And plus, we still could need Kinesamaria for if the big key is on the right side of GT. That has happened before, where both runners have gone into Ganon's tower without the cane, and had not found the big key. And then for that particular case, I think it was something like the one person went basically immediately to like Spike Cave to go get it, and then the other person went all around the world and still had not found it.
Interesting decision by Doomtap to go check Sick Kid before South Shore. I'm not entirely sure what what the thought process is there, but maybe he was looking for some sort of efficiency, some item that would make South Shore more efficient to do in combo. I'm having trouble figuring out what that would have been, but
maybe like a mirror
or
something.
Well, you'd still have to come down here. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Like if you got like a hook shot, you could sequence break the mountain or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's also a good point. And I guess if you actually can get a hook shot, then potentially, right? Like you're actually pretty close to that mountain Old Man Ascent Cave, right? Because you actually basically just run there from Sick Kid, as opposed to like saving Quake from saying.
But I mean, as it played out, results-oriented thinking and all that, but the way it happened now, he will basically just have to run back to Kakariko once he gets his Moon Pearl. So, that's a decent amount of world travel that he's just going to have to backtrack on.
Yeah, no, that's certainly a good point. And the fact that, as you said, like, if we end up getting, like, Mist Dark World Access basically has only going to take us over to Kakariko, and then, using that one and only Dark World entry point. So, yeah, we are going to have to basically make another trip over. Alright, meanwhile, though, Gem, finishing up Eastern very nicely, with also a quick kill on Armos, so he got his Kinesmari. He's going to go head over to Saha. Presumably, I guess with Mitts, my guess is going to be probably King's Tube into Village of Outcasts, so we actually can't get
pretty much the only choice outside of Agahnim.
Yeah, we're
we're not doing Agahnim right now.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I guess this is a 1v1 race. I don't actually know how aggressive or passive Gem in this case, or Doomtap for that matter, wants to be. It is one of those situations where I'm not really sure if either runner feels like they may have an edge over the other, and so certainly sometimes if you feel that way, maybe you're willing to be more thorough, right, and kind of covering bases. You're willing to spend the extra, let's say, 30 to 45 seconds versus not getting screwed over by half an hour because you left something there to Kina, right? But here, yeah, I don't know how much time they're willing to give up to each other for something like this. Speaking of though,
is,
yeah, holy cow, we're getting a hobo check.
I mean, it's going to be the fastest you're ever going to get to check hobo, but it is an interesting choice because from his perspective, yeah, that is a very big fine for Doom. Okay, now so that being said, right, like it's not like that's you say this is the fastest, probably one of the fastest instances you can go check hobo. That being said, it's not like Gem will never check hobo. Kind of maybe depending. It's just he might get slightly delayed, when he. Goes over there. The interesting thing is like Doomtap had 3 items in logic, I think, and he went for the out of logic check versus the dash 2. Zora, but at the same time, he has Canis Amaria, so he can fake Flipper from like the Lake Shop to go to Zora if he wanted to.
Oh, right.
I don't know if he's
yeah,
planning to
that's
do
a
it that
great
way.
point.
Or he might just go the like vanilla route. To
Yeah,
Zora,
I was
too.
gonna say, like, this is
Okay.
oh
I mean,
man, this is peak content right here. I mean, how often do you get to see basically on running past the potion shop, right, to go to Zora? This is great. Very much approved. Oh, look at this. So like, so while I'm admiring Doomtap's routing here to Zora, as you said, the vanilla way, even with an arrow shooting a buzz blob, so good. It looks like Gem actually did a Darkfold map check for us. We do see in this case our pendant, let's say, okay, was it Swamp? Not Swamp, Skullwoods, and Pod.
And Pod.
Okay, our pendant. Okay, so that Ice Rod, yes, Gem will eventually have to go and visit Hobo. That is very, very much required.
Yep, the Hobo is required, and because of this route by Doomtap, he will not have that sword for I don't know how long. But Gem did find a sword in Waterfall.
That's true.
So,
that's actually a really good point.
Potentially, probably not a required sword. I mean, required is a
very
vague
loose.
term many times with the sword, but it could make a difference for sure.
Oh yeah, and again, right? Like the magic sword. Well, I guess it is technically magic, but I mean, like the one desired sword for both of these guys is going to be Temper, and they don't really, as you said, don't really care too much about Gold Sword. They don't really have probably as much experience on it, but Temper Sword is probably their peak comfort zone. And depending on where that fourth sword is, maybe Gem will end up on Temper and Doom end up on Master Sword, right? All I guess like TBD, basically, on where the randomizer and how kind it chooses to be.
See here if Gem decides to just finish Thieves Town while he's here.
Yeah, it looks like it. We also don't really have a mirror to try to get out of Thieves Town easily. I mean, okay, the Death Warp isn't going to be like terrible, but it's also not very it's not very appealing.
This makes sense. Without good movement besides the boots, it takes a little while to get back here, and it's a small risk for the big chest. And even if it is a required item, there's also a decent chance that your opponent leaves it behind too. So.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Although it looks like we actually got quite a bit more of a divergence here on Gem versus Doomtap. So Doomtap, he did a map check, saw the same information that Gem did, and that Skullwoods is a pendant. We are here in the front of Skullwoods, so Doomtap, whether or not he is a Donka fan, Donka is now a fan of him.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he ends up with here. Nothing so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like Twin in chat giving us some insider knowledge on Doomtaps that while he is I'm sure very accustomed to the Tempered Sword he had in fight, looks like his Master Sword fight is also really, really good. So very much. I mean, I certainly would not ever doubt that a sword, I guess like being down a sword, would probably ever really hurt. It's just like the sheer time it might take. But still, like having a very impressive Master Sword Ganon fight is quite important, probably at this stage. Oh my gosh.
Now that is
oh my god. So Doomtap absolutely making the right decision. Finding the hammer in Skullwoods, so he's actually going to clear out Thieves Town, not have to risk anything leaving behind.
Yeah. We'll see. It might be a small key. Okay, it's a small key in the chest, so...
Yeah, okay. So it looks like, Gem's not going to also have any issues, because in this case, like if you don't see a key, basically as you come out of Blind Cell, that means that it is, well, I guess self-locked? It's big chest locked, yes. Alright, that was blue, by the way, but I did not catch what was on Bumper Ledge. Was it just bombs?
I don't think it was important.
Okay. Okay. I guess they have the cape, so yeah, the fact that Doomtap didn't go after it was probably indicative. But yeah, that early Skullwoods dip though, for the C definitely hit the 27%. So Doomtap certainly has, I would say, like an early advantage over Gem so far with that hammer. Now, of course, that being said, I was like, I mean, like, Gem will probably do his like normal, loop, I guess, around, and then, maybe he'll kind of get funneled into, into Skullwoods.
Yeah. That's true, but at the same time, Doomtap is going to have a more efficient route here. Like, he won't have to backtrack for hammer pegs or anything. Like, he could, in theory, just be done with Village of Outcasts, whereas Gem might not be.
Oh, that's actually a really good point. Yeah, and I guess maybe it kind of depends. So we are still mirrorless, and we do see that Swamp is a crystal, so we are gonna have to find that mirror and flippers eventually. So like doing a mirrorless Smith Chain probably isn't that enticing, you know. So maybe like chances are we might have to make another trip over to Village of Outcasts in order to completely finish that chain. But as you did say though, like being able to get hammer pegs right now, right, is actually pretty nice.
I mean, this is a situation, in my opinion, where, you know, Gem just has like Hype Cave and Skull Woods and just a couple odds and ends. Like, I, in this exact spot, would oftentimes just pick up the Smith and then make another loop where I'm planning to just get the Smith turned in and then go for Skull Woods. Just because if I'm gonna, it's going to be one of the only options left soon enough. So it kind of like makes that terrible check as efficient as it can be.
Yeah. That's actually a very positive way of spinning on it. Yes, it's gonna make the best out of the bad situation.
Because like if Gems does Hype Cave here and doesn't get progression, like Skull Woods is pretty much his best bet, which takes him kind of like where the Smith was, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you're kind of like banking on these 5 items to give you progression if you skip the mirrorless here.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And I guess maybe in theory he can. Oh no, I was gonna say he can go to Pyramid, but he kind of needs that hammer. We also did not see anything in Hype Cave. But we are going somewhere after Hype Cave. Where are we going?
He can take Flipper.
Oh yeah, with Samaria, right? Actually, he also has the bow, so we can actually take a dive. It looks like that's exactly what he wants to go do. Amazing. We don't need that hammer.
It worries me a little bit because I don't want him to see him go to pod without the hammer, but I guess it's a pendant, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, yeah, and actually, so you also do bring up a good point. Gem is a big fan of potters, so Palace of Darkness is certainly quite enticing in terms of Undungeon, but as you said, oh my gosh, he's so close to the ice rod, dude. It's just like a mirror away that we don't have. It's so sad.
Yeah.
But as you did mention though, pod is a pendant, and chances are, you know, we only have to maybe only, you know, hopefully in theory dip it once.
Yeah, I mean, even if you end up there with hammer, with it being a pendant, even the green pendant, it's still not like killing Helvesaur takes a long time. So it's not going to be high on your list. It really depends on how much you have left. And I guess kind of a concern, Gem is kind of lucky he doesn't have the hammer because he might have been down to just a couple checks left, but now he won't even have the option to do it, I guess. And there's actually a really good chance that the next progression is in pod because we know it's in logic from Doomtap's side, and there isn't much else left. We got the
yeah, that's true.
We got the Smith Chain, we got hammer pegs, we got Agahnim. Like, there's not much.
Yeah, that's right. We do have Agahnim. That is true. But I mean, and also chances are, you know, as you did mention, like because we don't have that many things left, like chances there's gonna be something here in pod. Like it does have 5 items that is up to 5 items that are available to us. One may or may not be on the boss itself, but you know, like that being a pendant, you know, it certainly probably won't be necessarily like a bad waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting part though is a lot of these checks are behind lamp or sometimes fire rod. So if there is progression here, it's most likely early, or we're missing a fire source from one of those other checks.
Yeah, no, that's actually right. Yeah, actually, it's a really good mention or a reminder. We are still very much fire sourceless, and we also don't really have access to the mountain. Which, you know, again, we technically have access. We can definitely lift up that rock. It's just that, you know, the game is not expecting us to go through and rescue the old man in the dark. Ooh, talking about what? This is still technically in logic. Jem's just trying to take a shortcut over. We'll talk about being in logic. There's our lamp. All right, so
no,
Doomtap.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So Doomtap's basically he's taking like a route, as you said, it's not even more efficient, but it's also still, he recognizes everything that is in logic. He doesn't necessarily have to wonder where is my, logical missing puzzle piece, right? He just has all of them. So
this is a really interesting spot now because, there's still a couple places in Pod, but there's also, one or two items on Helma that are in logic as far as what's available to the runners, but Gem has no access to them, whereas Doomtap will. So in the event that that's the actual required progression,
that would be really mean.
That would be. I mean, that would put Gem way behind early on here. Okay, Doomtap was thinking about what he wanted to do. I think he's decided between Smithy Chain and Pod, and I think he decided on Pod.
Okay. So it looks
after Hype Cave, after Hype Cave.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and he can also do kind of like so Gem. We ended up seeing him forego basically the hammer requirement in order to get up to or over to Pod. Doomtap's just going to hammer the bridge. The intended way of basically up there, saving himself a bit of time, but also he's going to be able to check the pyramid item alongside. Well, assuming he has that option, he can go check pyramid as well. But kind of watching, basically Gem, while he does not have the hammer immediately, right? It's just kind of like being very versatile and resourceful that he basically can also bypass, the requirement to do what he wants to do. So something that's basically still very necessary, basically for if you want to compete at this level. Alright, nothing, I guess, kind of in the back of Pod so far. But as you mentioned, with the lamp that Doomtap has found, it is still very much in logic. I guess the only noticeable thing, not necessarily notable, was that we just see that fire shield that Gem is now sporting.
And now, I mean, we're coming up on the last couple items here, so if Gem doesn't get progression, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Alright,
heart piece in the Dark Maze, so I guess I hadn't even been counting items. I'm not even sure if we even saw the map and I think we saw the compass in Dark Maze, in Rupee Basement. We must have seen the big key as well because we're still continuing after the heart piece.
We see Doomtap going for catfish before
a
possible Pod dip.
Very, very thorough here.
And nothing for Gem.
Yeah, it looks like Pod is pretty much empty.
So, Helma's going to be a very interesting thing. We'll see when or if Doomtap decides to go for Pod. He could just run down from here if he wanted to. He could decide to do something else first. Looks like Gem is probably going for Skull Woods now. Not sure for Doomtap.
This might be Mountain for Doomtap. We do have the lamp. Yeah,
well,
and this kind of also puts...
Yeah, we have the lamp. There's not a lot there, but there's a couple items.
Excellent point. We are still missing one of the key parts to getting us more mountain access, which is the mirror or the hookshot. Excellent point. But there are two items here. There is one on the old man. There is one that we can actually, look at longingly, which is on top of Spec Rock, and then one inside Spec Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you also recall, though, Gem is here, kind of in Skull Woods. Having you listed all of the different options, I guess that are kind of left that are within logic. There are not very many great options for Gem. Like there are lots of kind of stragglers. Like nobody wants to go to Agahnim. There is the mirrorless Smith Chain. That's also incredibly slow for 2 items, and so Skull Woods is probably his best bet. And of course, we just saw on Doomtap side, getting the hammer, in the pinball room is certainly going to be part of the next piece of progression. I'm gonna assume that Gem will probably go up the mountain as well after this, or maybe do hammer pegs or something.
Yeah, Doomtap also has Spike Cave here as an option.
That's a great point. We have the cape and we have a bunch of hearts. Yeah.
if he decides to go to pod next, that kind of puts a little bit more value, like in a roundabout way, on just finishing the dungeon. Because one, you haven't gotten progression yet, and two, you get the magic refill.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like a little nice thing on top where, if he's torn about going for a Helma, it's like, well, at least I'll get a full magic out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and he'll also get the green pendant, as we've kind of seen also. So that's one additional item. Nice bomb deboost there on Doomtap's side. Oh, wow, that is. Okay, that was okay. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't as tight as it looked in order to get that cape activation, but that is oh wow, great. Cape, spike cave leading into shovel, leading into we will see. Yeah, I'm always a bit very anxious, I guess, whenever I see people activating the cape so late, because unlike Burna, it doesn't activate immediately, and so maybe depending on that delay or lag, if you're especially down on half a heart, it's very, very sad if you just end up missing it by like a frame or so.
I think it's obviously a risk, but I do think like once you've played a lot of this game, you kind of just have this rhythm in your head that it would be just really hard to miss it out on it. Like it's
fair. I think that's very, very fair. I very much agree. It's just I mean, yeah, I 100% trust what Doomtap, he knows what he's doing. It's just from a viewer perspective, it's always just very like I don't want to see them die like in the middle of Spike Cave, because that certainly has happened before, and it's also very, very sad whenever it does.
I think Jem was contemplating going for the Smith
Chain, is that?
But then now he's going to go up the mountain, like you said. Obviously, we know those 3 checks don't really give anything outside of unlocking the mountain save and quit. But
yeah,
it does look like Doomtap's going for the Smith Chain before the pod check, which it's definitely a justifiable choice. Pendant pod, there's a lot of items there, but it also takes a very long time to do. So wanting to make sure that you have to go there, it's very reasonable, even though, I mean, mirrorless Smith Chain also takes a long time to do, let's be honest. But...
yeah. I guess I'm just also wondering, because like maybe Doomtap doesn't want to make the decision that, once he's at Pendant Pod, getting also back to Pod is a pretty big time investment, right? You gotta go through all the hedge forest maze or whatever it is in order to get in, gotta get back to Dark World. It's like a whole minute, right? Going in, and maybe he doesn't want to make that decision of, do I want to go kill Helma? And, maybe he just wants to try and make his bets here.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, what this does is if you are in pod in Doomtap's place and we haven't seen any progression, then he knows that he has to go kill Pendant Helma. Like, there's no question about it. Whereas if he left the Smith Chain for after pod, he might be like thinking to himself, let's just go to the Smith Chain now, and then it turns out he needed to be in pod.
Yeah.
Although he did save and quit after the Smith.
I guess we're gonna do purple chest. Is this what the?
No.
Or no. This is pod.
This is pod. It's the only, with the hammer out, it should be pod. They do have a Gina. I would have expected to see purple chest into a Gina here after committing to the Smith, but we're going for pod.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe just like doing the first leg of the Smith Chain. Like, I mean, absolutely nobody wants to go do mirrorless, fluteless purple chest, right? This is just awful. So maybe Doomtap thinks, well, if maybe Gem also just did like the very first leg, and then we're good.
I mean, it's checked, but the fact that you have a Gina to do afterwards to route in with it, like, it makes it like a little bit better.
Oh, sure. I guess,
great, but still,
I guess,
right. Something.
Yeah, I guess in this case, like, after you can go pick up the purple chest, and then you can just save and quit after you get it, right? And then save, and then you can just run over. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that does make a good amount of sense. Although talking about where is Gem going?
Gem's going to the portal this way since he was at the dig spot. Okay, never mind.
We're going.
But he's going to a Gina. I think he's he was gonna go for the Smith from that portal because instead of doing an additional save and quit, which I think would be faster. Like what he was doing was faster than like doing an additional save and quit, I believe. But then he's like, well, maybe we'll just do a Gina as a one-off and hope that we don't have to deal with mirrorless Smith.
Yeah. So actually, where do you? Okay. So we're gonna get Gina's check now on Gem's side. It is not progression. So,
I mean, it's purple chest or Helma. So.
Yeah, this is a bit kind of shaky and scary, honestly, for Gem, because I mean, like as you said, so Doomtap has put himself, after basically at least hedging his bets, right, for doing the first leg of the Smith Chain, he probably has a much more well-informed decision on whether or not he wants to kill Helma, and if it's really 50-50, right, that is a very I mean, he puts himself in a very good position because for not having to come back to pod, he's gonna single dip it and then just clear out the entire dungeon. Is that where Gem's going, by the way?
Gem also has catfish available?
I guess. Yeah. Oh no, we don't believe in catfish. This is we're going to pod. Okay, suddenly things look actually a bit more even. I mean, so Gem still does have to go get Ice Rod from Hobo. We do know that's required, and right now I've seen no flippers nor mirror to kind of help him push him in that direction. Yeah, that was also very excellent hover on Doomtap's side. Again, very, very accomplished and experienced with the game. Certainly, again, you put boots on these guys, and they suddenly just develop superpowers, in addition to the ones they already have.
Yeah, this is interesting. We'll see here. It still could be purple chest, like... I don't know if Helma has an item himself or if it's only Saha. I wasn't paying close enough attention.
So okay, there were. Let's see if I can go back and count. Okay, so we have no map or compass so far, and there were 3 items here in Dark Maze and Big Chest. I do remember that. So chances are, and I did see I remember seeing the compass and a small key in Rupee Basement. So maybe the map is on Helma? Certainly can't be a small key, so... But either way, we're gonna find out. I guess we're gonna find out on Gem side first. And I guess, like, the fact that even though we are, I guess, like, Gem is up a sword versus Doomtap, the fact that we have boots and, well, we have spin speed available to us, probably actually not gonna make that big of a difference. Maybe phase 2, it may be depending on, what they want to do versus, like, Master Sword slashes versus hammer versus the bow. That could also be something. Yeah, so we've actually gone through quite a bit of this seed, and so looking at kind of, we do have some late dungeons in terms of crystals, Mire and Turtle Rock being 2 very notable ones. We are so far, by the way, we are still missing 2 rods. Well, we have one of them on Doomtap side. We are still missing the flute in order to get us to Mire. We're still missing a mirror and flippers in order to get us to swamp. Like, where the heck is this? Like, I guess like this seed is just very convoluted so far, in order to get us something. So, okay, so what's on Helma? Oh, right, nothing's on Helma. We don't think anything on Helma, right? What's on the green pendant? Okay, it's the map. One more trip over.
I'll go with the hook shot.
Right, we still need a hook shot. Oh my! we're just looking at. This tracker I think is deceptively both sparse and full. I guess like it looks like we have a lot of stuff, and yet like all the stuff that we have though is like not the progression or whatever that we're kind of looking for. All right, you're gonna go with the hook shot. What else would open up stuff? Flute? I would like flute.
It's actually in purple chest.
No, correct. Let's not think about that. I don't want to think about mirrorless purple chest. That is so painful. Oh my gosh, dude.
I don't know. Remember that route I was saying where you pick up the Smith just to make it as good as possible? This is
awful. This is so awful. Why couldn't Saha just have something? Alright, where is... Oh my gosh. These choices are terrible. Well, yeah. Okay, so if it is on mirrorless purple chest, then actually, where's Gem going? Oh, is this catfish? This is probably catfish.
Given that he kept going off of that screen, then yeah.
Yeah.
You could definitely do Smiths from this side. I don't know. I've never timed it, but Considering Smith is south of the village, doesn't seem bad.
Okay, that's actually a good point. I guess I've just kind of always been accustomed to seeing, like, especially you have myths, right? You can just go in the Village of Outcast portal.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, it takes a few extra screens to get to that portal, so you know, versus a few extra screens in the Dark World. So I don't know. I can see it being pretty close.
Here I was really hoping for, like, you know, like a 115 finish or 110 finish. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I guess in theory it could still happen, maybe, that these guys are gonna finish within, you know, like a fast amount of time. But the fact that we have such, well, stragglers of checks, like in, you know, kind of corner locations, and no real easy way in order to get any of them. But at least for what it's worth, like Doomtap right now, the fact that he already did hedge kind of like one leg of the Smith Chain is in a slightly better position. He will have a little bit of time advantage over Gem getting to whatever is in purple chest.
The interesting thing here is Doomtap, even though he's probably going to be coming out of this a little bit ahead, he might like feel worse in some ways because he got really close to skipping Pen and Pod completely, and he just kind of gave up on his thorough.
Yeah.
So like when he gets this item out of purple chest, like he was standing in Kakariko at the Smith.
Yeah.
All he had to do was walk up to the portal, pick up the purple chest, and go turn it in and check again or whatever. Instead, he did like a 6-minute sidetrack to do nothing basically.
Yeah, and so, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was even thinking, like, I mean, and so, like, and it's a little bit slightly more punishing because, you know, well, okay, not having the mirror in general for Pod is just probably not also a good time. But also, like, the fact that they had to check the green pendant afterwards, right? They were in the Dark World, and you kind of see both Gem and Doomtap having saving quit, and then running back over, also Flueless, by the way, also true, right? Running back over to Saha is also just, like, another check.
So,
not just, yeah. All right. Well, yeah. So Gem is just one Smith delivery behind in this case, but we're gonna see in this case what the purple chest has to offer.
Yeah, he's up at a Gina check too, so he does have that time. Hookshot on purple chest.
Nice call. Correct. That's we were hoping for that on Saha, not not on purple chest, but here we are. Okay, we finally have more mountain access. Oh, dude, you know, so there was the bug net, you know, in the dam. We did come up with an empty bottle, eventually, and we also did pick one up on Sick Kid with a berry bottle. I mean, this could have been an East Death Mountain hover seed. I'm just telling you.
You could certainly do that if you wanted to. You know. We need both the hookshot and the mirror anyway, though. It's not like
that's
skip it,
that's very true. Yeah, but I guess, like, I was just thinking, you know, so we know that there's gonna be more progression here on the mountain. It could be the mirror, right? And if you can somehow finagle your way to the mirror in order to purple chest, like, that would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I would definitely speed that up. But here's the thing, like, is having that time, like the time it takes to go farm the fairy and execute the hover, and, you know, what if you screw it up? Like, all of that time, you could have just done mirrorless purple chest, you know? Like,
true. Well, we did see how good. I mean, I think Jem's been practicing. Yeah, we saw how good Doomtap's hover was, you know, to do pod right side. Right? You know, we're these guys are
for sure.
good, but
I mean,
yes, the whole risk though. Yeah.
You still have to set it up and execute it, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely big PSA. I mean, it is like kind of a meme in that, like, yes, like you could break out the mountain, but you have to be very, very careful about your logical implications, right? Because that is suddenly like a whole heck of a lot of stuff you have to basically keep track of. And even if we, you know, when we eventually get the progression over here in East Death Mountain, I mean, like, it could potentially lead you astray. It is not the first time that someone has tried to do that and basically suffer the consequences.
I think we're seeing a spiral skip here. Am I right on that?
Yeah, that actually looks like it, because we're here in Dark World and we can't get back over to Light World. I mean, unless magically, like, the mirror is here somewhere.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, it could be, by the way, right? Mirror could be in Super Bunny, Mirror could be in Hookshot Cave, and then we have the option now of going back.
It could be in Compass Chess.
It could be in...
It could be on laser grades that you can get
Yeah.
to without fire rod.
Oh. Are you helping or hurting? You know, Korik,
I
like
don't
who are you?
know. I mean,
you're saying all these terrible scenarios that I do not want to see these guys going all the way to the Crystal Turtle Rock, you know, without the fire rod.
I mean, truthfully, we still don't have much in logic, right? Like we got we have Spiral Cave and Hookshot Cave and Pendant Hera and Turtle Rock and Mire Shed.
In Mire Shed.
So a couple things. Maybe Mire, but that's only like a 1 out of 3.
Yeah. I mean, there are only 2 items in Mire, and we
2 out of 3.
Well, 2 out of 3. yeah. Speaking of, so we just picked up another medallion. We don't actually know what the entry is, but we potentially could get in. The chances are it's certainly increased that we can get into there.
Okay, now
there are
starting to
flippers.
open up
Okay,
a little bit. Obviously, Bombos Ice Palace is a little bit slow, but it's a crystal that we can full clear. So
yeah, well, and Doomtap's also still on Fighter Sword too, right?
Yeah, no fire rod on Fighter Sword I mean, he could check Waterfall before he goes in. That's an option, but most people would. Well, I guess we don't have mirror, so yeah, checking before he goes in would be more likely. If you had mirror, you might plan to check it afterwards. But,
it's gonna be kind of interesting though, like, so yeah, so like, I guess it looks like Gem's also not gonna, did he also speak Spiral Cave, by the way? I did not. I saw him get his flute out of Paradox, and here we are.
Yep, no Spiral
Okay,
Cave
alright,
today.
Well, hopefully nothing's there, you know, or we'll just, you know, maybe Gem's hoping to find a mirror here. Very, very interesting. The fact that they both did it though is at least, you know, comforting in that if something is there, they'll both feel as, you know, as terrible as the other person. Or they'll just end up trusting that there is nothing here.
Yep.
I did not catch that. That is Bombos. We can actually go in.
It's indeed Bombos. I mean, it's not a great dungeon either.
Yeah.
Especially from Doomtap's perspective.
Okay, another potential item of importance that we will have delayed value on. Gem is running out of Super Bunny. Is this gonna be Turtle Rock?
I don't know what else it could be.
Yeah, amazing. Well, I mean, you know, well, we're here with without the fire rod, and he certainly obviously does not have the ice rod, so maybe he's kind of hoping in this case that he's gonna get locked out. And if this is only gonna be, you know, like 1 to 2 checks, like just doing the first, let's say, room, right? Not gonna, like, it's probably just better to spend the, whatever, 30 to 45 seconds now versus a whole nother mountain trip right to come back up.
Yeah, I mean, if this is an important item, you know, it would be a huge difference, but just a big key.
It is technically important because we do need it to beat the dungeon, but it is probably not the, you know, the important item as you were maybe, yeah, as maybe John was hoping for, right? You know, something else that was of importance. Mirror would be great. Any of the rods I think that he's also still looking for would be pretty swell. But speaking of though, Doomtap actually is here in Mire. There are up to 2 items that we can get in this dungeon. Kind of does make me wonder though where, I mean, this seed in particular seems to be really kind of stringing both Doomtap and Gem along. Is just like, here is an item of progression, and then here's another item progression like 20 minutes or like later or something.
And we do see Gem making the same choice, going to the Mire area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is also just very reasonable. You know, as you mentioned before, so you know, part of the goal in this case is to clear 7 crystals. Mire is a clearable, in this case, crystal dungeon that they can get to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a little surprised neither of them went for ice first. I know, you know, especially Gem with the, you know,
I guess he has Master Sword, right? Yeah.
Because, you know, there's a huge meme, and there's kind of something to it. I feel that Fire Rod is there, which, I mean, Fire Rod makes Mire a lot faster. I mean, a lot is relative, but, you know, it really is a good amount.
Yeah, I very much agree, and I think like with that Master Sword though that Gem is holding right now, I think will also, it does make ice a bit more enticing. You can with Master Sword you can do sword beams. That's something that's also pretty common. Or no, I guess you can't do with bombos, but at least like the fight for Cold Stare itself, right? The Master Sword spin is probably but much more more familiar, right, to these guys versus maybe like the hammer hits. Try and keep Cold Stare puffs together. That's something that Doomtap is not going to have as much of a option to do.
Start the fight with a spin to the corner like normal, and then do maybe 2 to 3 triple hammer hits. And
2
then
to 3? That's a lot.
in the corner there, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it is a lot. So you get like halfway through the Cold Stare HP before it they go everywhere. And then you can do hammer or sword from there.
Okay. Okay. It's good to know. Thank you.
Like if you time it perfectly, you can do like the hammer into the corner, but that's much harder.
When did we pick up the powder? Out of curiosity, on Doomtap's side, I don't remember this.
Must be in here.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I did see 3 bombs coming out of one of them, and yeah, so it very well could be here because I think between like the checks between like Gem and Doomtap, they're not really much different. So yeah, if something new is here, I was really expected to be here, Meyer. Yeah, a very good, I guess, like observation maybe on Doomtap side, maybe on Gem side as well. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Korik. We just saw a powder here in lobby chest for Meyer. Doomtap using it basically to get his health refill. Normally, people would not want to use like the boomerang or the powder to break, Spooky, but we have no fire rod, so we're all good. I don't know so I know that there is some version of like bomb Spooky available. And I know that Gem has at least dabbled in it. He does have 10 bombs. I don't know if he is willing to try it now. Yeah, we are also seeing Doomtap starting out his Vitreous fight with a Fighter Sword. The regular slashes for Fighter Sword do not hurt Vitreous's eyes, so we are kind of stuck at least doing spins for the time being. Softening up a bit with that cape, running out some magic, but taking care of hopefully the rest with... Oh my gosh! With the arrows. Not oftentimes, by the way, you get to see arrows being shot at Vitreous from the side versus from the bottom.
I mean, well handled.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like this is kind of this is something that you don't see as often in NMG just because you have Temper Sword, and so it's a very kind of like textbook fight, right? But part of the appeal, at least from watching Brando, is that you really get to basically see the runner's creativity in trying to handle these types of really tough boss fights on very staggered equipment.
So, I mean, Ice Palace seems like the obvious play here, but we could do the Magic Bat as a quick one-off.
I forgot about Magic Bat. Yeah. Looks like that's exactly what Doomtap's gonna go do. Did we also turn in the mushroom out of curiosity? I think that's also another thing that we haven't seen yet, right?
Correct. I think they just got that as well.
Okay, yeah. Oh, right. They got it in Meyer Shed. Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll probably both do those little one-offs, and then, depending on what they get, head to Ice Palace.
Oh wow! Well, I mean, I'm sure Doomtap, would have probably liked that sword, but that is a really nice find on Doomtap. Suddenly, Ice Palace is really not looking, as terrible probably for him with having upgraded his weaponry. Now, granted, he probably still wanted that, that fire rod, but still, like, can't really ever complain about a Master Sword. Alright, yeah, we definitely saw a much more, I would say, not necessarily textbook Vitreous fight on Gem's side that maybe we're used to with the Temper Sword, but it was still very well taken care of on his. All right, yeah, we hear the screen flute call on Doomtap's side.
Yeah, setting up the spooky for the fire rod that we have early.
Look, maybe it'll show up in this very first room here, right?
I mean, muscle memory. You just keep it going. You know,
it's great. I mean, yeah, this is a very talented 123 runner here. Yes. I mean, we don't have Gem's audio going. I don't actually know if he'll also do the same thing, but it looks like he's turning the mushroom. He's also. I don't think he's gonna pick up that hard piece at this point. We're on red mail. Sammy's already marked it, so I think we're pretty safe. We are picking up a blue potion though, so this is also probably Ice Palace then on Gem's side. Like if he wants to buy a potion now. Oh. Although maybe I don't necessarily know what he necessarily wants to do with it.
So I mean, it's interesting that I didn't do Magic Bat. It'd make it a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. But I don't know. Maybe, but like, I guess it kind of like you have to weigh the one-offs at this point, right? Maybe versus just like clearing out another crystal dungeon. I mean, you know, from also Gem's perspective, there could just be something here too.
Yeah, I mean, he might just be feeling a little bit behind. Like he elected to check that first chest control rock. He pretty much hard last location, the hook shot, including a double dip of pod with that. So. Oh
yeah, that's also true. Yeah, I forgot about the double dip. Yeah, that was probably. I mean, Helma itself was certainly not required. Nobody really knew that because Doomtap also invested the time in order to go beat Helma and turn in the green pendant. But yes, for Gemma it was a bit more costly because he had to go back and get nothing, as opposed to Doomtap just found it out in one trip.
I mean, the good thing for both of them is they both did the pod dip. Like, there is a scenario where one of them skipped that and is like a full, 5+ minutes ahead because it's a mirrorless pod, like mirrorless, fluteless pod, plus, turning in the green pendant. Like that was a very long check for both.
Yes, for sure. Also, we have found a mirror here in Ice Palace, so that is certainly the next piece of progression. That almost, I'm very curious to see what Gem does after Ice Rod. Maybe also in conjunction with Doomtap is just like less impactful. So like with the with the mirror, we can actually mirror back into the light world. We can have the option of fluting away to wherever we like, right? But in particular, Gem still needs to go to Hobo and get that Ice Rod. This also might be one of the better times for him to do it. Doomtap could also mirror and go to Waterfall to go get his tempered sword. I mean, so there are definitely goodies that they can both get. It's just I think I'm more concerned for Gem. Like, it's like as maybe pointed out, Doomtap probably can survive on this equipment or even excel on Master Sword Silverless or whatever right on Ganon. That is going to be enough for him to beat the game. Gem absolutely needs that Ice Rod.
I mean, I guess the mirror is something I didn't explicitly think of, but it does point to. That was really well done.
Yeah, did you see Doomtap's cold stare fight? Oh my gosh. Dude, this guy should write some sort of textbook for Master Sword, Hammer, cold stare.
Yeah, that was great. But as I was saying, with Ice Palace, the only thing that's going to make it faster is Fire Rod, whereas with Mire, you could get the Fire Rod, you could get a mirror, because the mirror would have let you do checkerboard and desert while you were there, So, yeah, I guess I just prefer ice first in that scenario. But they both did the other way around, and so Doomtap did not mirror for Waterfall. That is interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Again, these are kind of optional things, right? And I am okay. Well, Gem's gonna finish up his cold stare fight. Basically taking going to town with these puffs on the hammer, and really again hoping that he can go get Hobo. I don't know when he is going to opt to go get that.
So it's a struggle for me. I mean, obviously we're one item from go mode now. We just need that
Which
fire
is the
rod.
Fire Rod, amazing. After all is said and done.
I guess if you're coming to Swamp next, I don't know. In my view, Waterfall with 2 items, that has at least as much, if not more, of value as left side of Swamp, and it takes a quarter of the time.
Yeah.
So obviously, if Fire Rod is just on your way here in Swamp, then great. But like, it's most likely it's not. There's way more other spots that are available. So I don't know. I kind of like even knowing that we were like coming up on the end of the seed, like the free 2 pretty easy to get to item checks is. I would have. I think that's definitely worth it.
Yeah, we're also, by the way, seeing that the gem is not in Swamp, but he's also in Desert. So there are also 2 items here as well. I mean, those are also potential items that maybe can deter the decision, or at least defer the decision of doing left side Swamp. Nice spiky clip on Doomtap's side here. One of the things that is actually allowed in this tournament, as quote unquote, like no major glitches, but minor glitches are allowed. But of course, Doomtap is certainly well practiced. Yeah, we're another thing I'm kind of concerned about on Jump side versus kind of Doomtap situation. Wow, alright, we don't need that sword, by the way, from Waterfall. Doomtap is more than set to go with that temper sword right in time, basically, by the way, for Argus. Gonna be probably much more comfortable. But yes, like as I was probably kind of taking stock at, so Gem's looking for both rods at this point, and we know where the ice rod is. So most likely than not, he's going to be in a ice rod hunt endgame type of situation. Right? He'll probably find the fire rod before then, and I'm a little worried that he's gonna go up to Turtle Rock without the ice rod, basically hoping that the ice rod is gonna be on Laser Bridge or somewhere inside. Versus Doomtap, once he finds fire rod, he's good, and he'll be able to clear out Turtle Rock in one go.
I mean, it's definitely a very common play to go to Turtle Rock looking for the ice rod with a few loose ends left. I think there was the seed we commentated before for Gem, though. He elected to do a route which was basically a full clear before Turtle Rock.
All right, big energy for Gem to do that this time, because I really don't want to see him go up on the mountain without that ice rod.
Yeah, you could definitely approach it either way. I would say, given he probably feels a bit behind, he might be more willing to take the risk of Turtle Rock, and if that's the case, then it wouldn't be great.
Yeah. By the way, you know what? One great upside of Gem not going to Hobo right now is that I'm looking at our inventory. We have no fire rod, we have no ice rod. We have, however, the bow, which is the absolute best and optimal weapon for this fight that Gem is doing right now. Amazing. How did this work out? There is an upside to it. There's always a silver line to these things.
It's the third land mode that
yeah.
He had a really good phase 1 except for the third one, and phase 2 except for the third. It's fine though. We got a 4th cycle.
No, but actually, I mean, all things considered, that was actually very, very good. Yeah, just kind of like that last land mode just really eluded him. I am also, by this thing, on Doomtap's side. Left side Swamp was not fruitful. We have also seen nothing here in the back of Swamp, but there are 2 more item locations available for him. Alright, that is 1 down. But yeah, I mean, but just kind of in comparison, there are, Doomtap's route has certainly been just a little bit more clean. And I think right now, the big thing is, one of the big plays that Doomtap had made, kind of over Gem was that Hobo check. Oh, that is the fire rod. Well, all right. So that is go mode then for no, sorry, that's not go mode. That is no mode, at least for us. But yes, that is very great find. A little bit. I'm assuming that Doomtap after Swamp Palace here, he is also going to go to Checkerboard after Desert.
So I think there's probably about a 0% chance we see Gem do left side Swamp here.
Well, first we're gonna go back and actually get into the Dark World, and then we're gonna go into Swamp. But
yeah, I was gonna say does he play entrance or something? But Gem never plays entrance, so I don't know.
Well, he plays doors for what it's worth.
Okay,
that's kind of entrance.
That's true. So Doomtap is almost certainly going to get that fire rod very soon. He'll probably do Desert first, like Gem did. He might not, though. He could check Checkerboard first if he wanted to, because checking the front of Desert is a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I certainly do agree to that. Alright, we just gonna scout the ledge real quick. Yeah, but I'm gonna assume that this case he will at least do desert first. Just again, so it's a crystal, right? And if the fire rod is here, it's not like checkerboard is like I would consider to be on the slower side of checks. Like probably in the grand scheme of checks, it's probably actually not that bad. But it is still the extra 15 to 20 or whatever seconds that you don't have to spend.
Desert is, I guess, the thinking is desert would be. Potentially, it depends on the item layout, but desert can actually be, one of the worst dungeons as far as time per item goes. Just checking the front, like
maybe depending on where what the key layout is.
On marginal time per item, I guess is the right way to put it, because obviously, a longer dungeon is going to be a bit different, but we can only get 2 items here, and there might only be 1 in the front, right? And to get that item, you might have to go back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely we talk about I guess just thinking about GT routing. Some people like to do Hope Room into Stalfos Room. Some people like to do Stalfos Room into Hope Room, right? And then there's always the meme of left right left right left right. Yeah, it almost kind of feels like a little mini desert, or I'm sorry, expanded version of Desert Palace. You have to go. Start on the left side to go get the small key, to go to the right side in order to get your big key, to go back in order to get the big chest. It's just it's a long trek. Kind of like what they're doing right now.
Yeah, it's not like Thieves Town where all the items are at worst a room out of the way.
As you called it, though, this is a very, very apt of, I would say, league teammate of Gem for, quite some number of seasons. We have already skipped left side. So this is actually, pretty good for Gem. Assuming he doesn't go back in, of course. I'm gonna save, minute plus worth of time.
The problem is, though, with the way the scene is played out, the most likely scenario is that he goes to Turtle Rock. I
don't want to think about it. I want him to see go to Hobo. That's if he goes to Hobo right after Swamp, this will be quite good. I mean, it'll obviously be very good for Gem, but also keep things pretty close. What is Doomtap gonna do? I don't actually know. I guess we're gonna see what weaponry he chooses to take on Lamos. Obviously, very accomplished NMG runner, so I'm sure he's no stranger to Bo Lamos. But he does have the Ice Rod, and he does have Temper Sword, so I can certainly see some combination of Temper Sword spins and, of course, that Ice Rod that he very much got from Hobo. We are also seeing the perils of the Ice Rod fights.
Yeah, it's not the easiest.
You have a bow, Doomtap. I believe in you.
I mean, given his skill in NMG, he would have probably had a faster fight.
Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration. So, yeah, we do see the save and quit from Gem.
Oh, well, I think this is going to be a Turtle Rock play.
Yep, sure is. It's definitely the expected play. It probably puts a nail in the coffin here. But, that's the way Rando goes sometimes. Doomtap, meanwhile, is seconds away from their go mode.
Yeah, hopping in the portal is certainly a very, very strong indication that he's going to go into catch checkerboard, and then he is going to be able to, single dip Turtle Rock. In this case, he has been able to single dip every single dungeon where, again, just as kind of a consequence for where the items are, that was not an option for Gem, based on how he routed. Also, good props to Doomtap for taking the middle route in Checkerboard Cave, saving himself half a second in order to go get the Fire Rod.
That's a good example of one of those things that everybody did a certain way.
Yeah.
There's actually a faster way to do it, and
it
took literal years before anybody changed it up.
You see this Waffle House on Doomtap's side? This is a 120, 123 runner right here. Yeah, it's, this is probably what one of the scariest situations for any competitor versus Doomtap. I mean, really, any if you're gonna run anybody who has a 123 NMG time, is when you are facing somebody he has boots, he has Temper Sword, he has has done GT at this point thousands upon thousands of times probably by now. He is so well practiced. You're probably like just on average going to lose time over somebody like this.
This is very comfy.
Yep.
He has his temper. He has, it's a very.
He has his dead rocks as well.
It's like an NMG plus, right? He has.
Yeah.
He has like red mail, so that's the plus part. But otherwise, he has his temper. His bow, his fire.
He has 13. He has 13 hearts too, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's basically very comfy. Add in the red mail, and it's what he's used to. It's what he's practicing.
Yeah, I was also as part of the NMG League that happened, maybe about a month or two. Doomtap was also a participant, so he actually did get some practice with the rando ROM, taking advantage of like quick swap, icebreaker. So he actually still had kind of come out, from the original NMG execution, being able to kind of take advantage of some of the rando stuff. It actually goes to show here as well. I believe he actually won NMG League Season 2 too, right? And certainly also a very high finisher for vanilla preset. So yeah, this guy's pretty good.
And Gem still looking for items is going to be checking this chest where Doomtap will just be able to skip it.
Yeah. Yeah, especially looks like it's gonna be key for key. I actually was not paying attention to the layout, but I do remember that the big key was in Compass Chest, and then what was in Roller Room? 2 keys? Maybe just 1?
Yeah.
Doomtap can't skip it, right?
Yeah, he can skip it because basically the only way you can't skip it is if it's the big key. Because if it's key for key, obviously you can just.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Also get to see Mimic Cave. Who knows what we'll see there.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, and well, I guess so neither of these guys at least will be on Gold Sword. Doomtap is not gonna go back to Waterfall at this point, and I certainly maybe I'm gonna speak too soon. After Gem does not find the Ice Rod here in Turtle Rock on Laser Bridge, he is gonna go to some locations that he has left in the Light World. Magic Bat might be one of them. That will be Gem's Gold Sword. But we do certainly know that he needs to go to Hobo. Okay, so at this point, we don't have Aga defeated, so that means that we are able to save the portal. Like, is Hobo an option? Like a viable option? If he can still save the portal? Okay.
But I do wonder if he'll do Hera first, like going all the way around and up over for Hera. Because if you want to do Hera with saving the portal, you kind of have to do it first. Because otherwise you have even further to go for it.
Yeah, nice boots, by the way. I mean, quote unquote boots. They're not actually like the real logical boots or whatever, but it's just once the game kind of just like does the fill for you, they're your boots, and yeah, that would suck basically to have them there. By the way, another actually really nice contrast in terms of time save. Gem did just he hooked over to the switch that you can do using quick swap, right? And then he got over to the block a little bit faster, and then just placed the Mario block down. It also does save a little bit of time. Again, it's one of those things where it was only just recently discovered, where everyone just did the exact same thing. We just wait on the conveyor belt, and then suddenly it's discovered, like, hey, this is gonna be faster.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those with quick swap strats in particular. Quick swap added a new layer for quite a few rooms.
Alright, certainly do like the fact that Gem is using the cape here just to keep things safe for himself. Or actually also just not to damage so he doesn't get distracted. Or doesn't get, damage boosters out of his routes. But unfortunately, we do not find the Ice Rod on his side versus, Doomtap decided to, be prepared for the dungeon and bring his own Ice Rod because Turtle Rock definitely wasn't going to give you one. And so he is going to be on his way to Trinexx. Again, this is Tempered Sword, maybe made it a little bit more rando-esque, just because we have quick swap, so maybe a bit more challenging for the textbook, the quote-unquote NMG textbook fight, but here we are. Doomtap looks very, very comfortable with this. As you said, so we are here in Hera on Jump side. This is again, this is very reasonable. You know, it's very close, and if your ice rod is just here, right, you don't have to leave the mountain. You can just literally run back and dive straight back down to your port.
And if your goal is to check all your light world stuff first, then you kind of have to do this first, because otherwise you have to go all the way back to the right side and then climb and then left side versus you know starting on the right side already. So this is definitely where we would expect for him to go, and indeed, here he is.
All right, so that mini Moldorm decided to just be a big bully to Gem. Oh wow! Very excellent recovery though on basically on Herapod. Yeah. So Gem did not think it was worth it to go get spin speed again, but it was a very nice bomb setup there, kind of similar to Specky Clip setup. But you know, again, this is something that's just you can just see that there is a ton of comfort in Gem's execution.
We do see Doomtap making his way to the GT.
We do. We have all 7 crystals. That's evident by the crystal cutscene that we need to open up GT. It is never a good feeling where you run into GT expecting for your sprite to stop, and then suddenly you just keep running right past it and you bonk, and it's and then you wonder where your nth crystal that you missed was. All right, but in this case, okay, I don't actually know what Doomtap likes to do. Looks like he's gonna do Hope Room first. Yeah, we just see there's a couple.
You know, several viable routes. Very common one is to, you know, go Hope Room, and then if you get the small key, continue right, and well, we got 2 small keys, so.
Yeah. Clink. Nice fire rod, or fire dad. Clink on the shield. Alright, we are doing this. This Hera sucks. I'm gonna just say that right now, because there is an item in the basement, which means, okay, it's not equivalent to left side swamp levels of time commitment. It's not really that much farther off, all things considered.
Yeah, certainly is very similar. It's not great, but this is what you expect. You have one end for go mode, and you can't really skip things at this point.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we do not have a big key in Compass Room, but the fact that we actually did get to check it, and I think this is in theory supposed to be faster, just in terms of like item or whatever clearance, and that you don't have to go you don't have to make another trip over to the left side in order to clear out GT. But you know what? For those people who like to go to Stalfos Room first, it's just on the torch, and we didn't have to do any of Compass Room. So maybe eventually when Gem goes over to GT, I do know that he likes to go to the left side first. So, but it's a little bit farther off depending on when he ends up finding this this ice rod at Hobo.
I'm not sure. Oh, Spiral Cave, yeah, of course.
Oh right, that's right. Doomtap and and Gem both skipped it. We had no mirror when we were first up here on the mountain because it was kind of a last location hook shot for both of them, and of course we did see that mirror was in Ice Palace. That was Flippers locked in theory, which was on Dark Earth Mountain Hookshot Cave.
So the next check will be either Magic Bat or Hobo, almost certainly for Gem.
Also, see how left. That's not mirror locked, right? Because I assume he doesn't want to do Graveyard Ledge, right? That would break his portal.
Exactly. I think those are the only things that aren't mirror locked that he has left.
Okay. Well,
he'll get his gold sword before his ice rod.
Okay. So I guess so if you were in Gem's position earlier, so like, would you have tried to do maybe Graveyard Ledge before going up to Turtle Rock? I mean, Graveyard Ledge is a really long commitment, right?
No. I mean, it's hard. Like I was saying, like I'm pretty sure if I was in this suit, I would have done Ice Palace and everything around it first.
Okay.
Like I don't know if I would have skipped Hobo after Ice Palace. Like I just have a different style where I generally don't skip things, even when I'm like one item from go mode. Like
that's actually probably true.
It's like pulling teeth to get me to skip anything. So, okay, so Gem is skipping Hobo. What are we doing here?
We're going to. Is this pedestal? This looks like pedestal, right? We have Hera.
Yeah,
and
it looks like he just decided to meme the pedestal a little bit. That's I mean, it's fine. If he might, realistically, he's probably in the mode where the goal isn't to finish as fast as possible. The goal is to metagame what gives me the best chance of winning.
Yeah. And this is also very reasonable too, right? I mean, like if in this case, like Doomtap has such a commanding, I would say, like lead at this point, time wise over Gem. Like he's almost done with GT, right? And yeah, if like there's kind of almost like no win condition if Gem just kind of in this case like does or follow Doomtap's positions.
I mean,
by the way, it was
that was just an amazing climb. Obviously we talked about it before, but this is something he's very familiar with this equipment. It's just he's very good. It's a demonstration of the type of skill you need to reach a 123 in this game.
Yeah, there are going to be very, very few people in this world that's going to be able to take time off of Doomtap's gauntlet execution. By the way, like, and as Chad's pointing out too, like that Moldorm fight with like Temper Sword spins and kind of like cleaning up some of the stragglers using the bow is like really, really impressive on Doomtap's side. Nice half magic. That is super useful. Maybe we're looking for silvers that we also still have not found, but at least Ganon will tell us. All right, we did end up finding both items in Skullwoods, I'm pretty sure. So we're just gonna pull Ped. Very convenient. We don't, the only requirement that Gem has right now is that he is not allowed to read the pedestal.
Oh, he couldn't if he wanted to anyway. But
oh, true. That's right. We actually don't have a book.
I mean, maybe we get the book here. Who knows?
Oh my gosh. Doomtap's in Agahnim. Again, it's one of those things that are extremely well practiced for him. I'm not even sure like how to optimize an Agahnim fight, but somehow these guys figure out how to do it.
Just
it is 20 rupees. All right, where are we going on Gem's side? How many more item locations does he have left to do? I guess he's already broken his portal, right? So I guess now he's free to go do any mirror lock checks that he wants.
I mean, he has Hobo, he has K45, he has Graveyard Ledge, he has Left Side Swamp. I think there's only one item on Left Side Swamp.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we saw what, Compass, and I saw something else. I don't remember. I'm gonna assume that Gem also does have an eye on the race room as well. So Doomtap here is gonna finish up momentarily, and you gotta keep in mind this is a best of 3 series. And they are planning on playing their doubleheader basically, after a short break.
Very textbook phase 1 and 2 from Doomtap.
Yeah, I like how we're dropping down the bombs here.
Oh, there's a book.
Oh, great. That's exactly what you want to see right before. Jeez. I was gonna say, it is technically, I guess, like, efficient in that we are really close to Bumbo's tablet. However, I do not want to see Gem waste more time.
Okay, so it looks like he's doing Hobo first. Or...
This is Bumbo's tablet, I assume, then? Because he just got the book, right?
Okay, so he must have, like... He was like on autopilot to Hobo, and he's like, "Oh wait, I just got the book. I better go do Bumbo's." Because he definitely took the long way around to Bumbo's tablet.
Oh right, because he could have just lifted the rock, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, Doomtap's almost done. I don't remember. 10 maybe ish. 2 more to go. 1. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely almost done. Nice. All right. Get your GGs out in chat for Doomtap. Excellent display of performance, both in terms of routing and just absolute monster on execution. So very well deserved game 1 win.
Yep, GGs. So it's a great performance.
All right. Looks like though we do see Gem kind of taking some solace behind some rocks, so he's not gonna just get bamboozled by the Ropa. That also believes. So get your G's on chat for Gem. That was I mean, Gem is like an amazing runner. I mean, he has done exceedingly well. It's just that it only takes one item, for you to get screwed over in rando, and that has happened today with Gem not checking Hobo.
I mean, they both skipped one item on the placement list, right? Like, the only problem is Gem's item that he skipped is a required item, and Doomtap's is completely unrequired in the Butter Sword.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that, like, you swap the location of those 2 items and it's a completely different result, right?
Oh, for sure. Yes. Yeah. And this is actually, I think, one of the another benefits of, I guess having like a best of 3 series or like double elimination, type of tournament structure is that these types of things do happen, and that's why you get basically like another shot. So hopefully these guys will.
They both played exceptionally well. It's like a little bit of rando here and there, but you know, to Doomtap's credit, he also routed more efficiently. I think for the full clear perspective that Gem did early on. I think Gem was, you know, as Gem likes to do, taking some calculated risks in going for density versus you know, some longer checks, and it didn't really hurt for the most part until it came to that ice rod. So, you know, Doomtap played his game, and it definitely worked out for him in this one. And great performance. Gem will try to even it up in game 2 in a little bit here.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, just, peeking into their race time rooms. I think just that you're going to take a quick break. You know, between, in this case, this is a double header for Gem and Doomtap. So take a quick break and then going to basically hop on to game 2 immediately afterwards. They want a looks like 5 to 10 minute break. So I think they're gonna skip out on the interviews for now. So we're just gonna basically chill out for a bit, and then it's gonna be the same channel. I don't know if anything's gonna get shut down at this point. I think we're just gonna roll with it, and bring in everything for, and hopefully get everything set up for game 2. So at this point, I just want to thank Sammy so much again for being our tracker. She has done always a wonderful job. Thank you so much for taking the time to track this race. And Korek, thank you so much. This was an absolute blast. quite the race to be watching here as well.
Yeah, this is a fun race. Just amazing execution and a great time to watch, and just spend time with everybody here. So I definitely look forward to game 2 here. Gem is not going to go quietly, but Doomtap, I'm sure he would love to 2-0 somebody as good as Gem, so it should be a really good matchup.
Oh yeah, it's I mean, and it's yes. To being able to take, I would say, like at any point, if you could take a game off of Gem or Doomtap, I mean, I think just as a mere mortal, like you feel ecstatic to being able to basically look at someone who are extremely talented and basically just like a god tier at this game. But yeah, it's so these guys just take a quick break, and then hopefully we'll get some tech crew rotated in, and then don't go anywhere, go grab some popcorn maybe or a drink, and then just come back for a little bit.